I was born in a small town. After finishing university, I moved to city for work. At the moment, I'm dealing with a huge dilemma, which has led me to share my story. I'm sure many of you might think I'm insane or criticize me for my decisions. I graduated from a major that has a high employment rate and even obtained a national certification. I'm a healthy man. Leaving my parents and experiencing the thrill of living alone was new but exciting. Living in a city filled with young, beautiful women was a fresh experience. At my company, we had college students working part-time, assisting with simple administrative tasks. That's how I met a female college student who was working part-time at my company. My girlfriend was 22 years old. She was truly bright, kind, and naturally beautiful. Despite her young age, she possessed a serious and calm demeanor. After about 3 months of dating, she suggested introducing me to her family. My family is rather conservative, and my parents always told me to only bring home someone I intended to marry. Because of this, I was somewhat reluctant to visit her family. However, she noticed my hesitation and reassured me that it was okay. So, I bought a set of ribs and went to visit her family. Before we arrived, she told me about her family. Her parents had divorced due to her father's infidelity 10 years ago, and her mother raised her alone. Her mother was a young mother, having given birth in her early 20s. When I met her mother for the first time, she looked very young. Her skin was clear. She was beautiful and looked youthful. Without realizing, I commented, "Wow, you're so young." She responded to my comment with a bright smile, revealing her perfect teeth. Her mother was cheerful, and we clicked well. After a pleasant meal, I was glad that I had paid her a visit. According to my girlfriend, despite her mother's cheerful demeanor, she never showed interest in other men. However, as time passed, I became closer to my girlfriend's mother. She enjoyed hiking and suggested that we go to Guanak Mountain together. My girlfriend disliked hiking and refused to go, but I enjoyed it, so I accompanied her mother. She brought cucumber and snacks, and we sat at the summit of the mountain, enjoying the coffee she had brought while chatting. When I first met her mother, I thought she was a slightly youthful middle-aged woman, but after the hike, I felt closer to her. The vibrant look of a woman in her early to mid-40s was quite appealing. After descending the mountain, we went to a nearby restaurant and enjoyed a corn, jelly salad and rice wine. And that's when things took a turn. She told me about her difficult early married life. Her ex-husband was a company employee who drank every day. Even on weekends, he would go out drinking and only occasionally came home sober. One day, a woman called their home and said, "Let go of your husband. We are in a serious relationship." My girlfriend's mother, shocked and in disbelief, ended the call. After investigating, she found out that her husband had been dating a woman he met at a bar during a company dinner. He had lied to the woman, saying, "I'm a divorcee. My wife ignored me and cheated, so we divorced." However, women's intuition is strong. The mistress noticed that he didn't seem like a man living alone. His neat appearance, maintained by someone else's efforts, gave him away. One day, she finally asked if he was really divorced and suggested they live together. However, my girlfriend's father confessed, "No, I'm actually still married. My wife never cheated on me. I lied to you because I love you." He said that he forcibly obtained the home phone number to confirm his lie. It was shocking. He painted his perfectly fine wife as a cheating woman. After that, they got a divorce by mutual agreement. He put all his effort into their only daughter and managed to send her to a good university. My girlfriend told me that her grandfather was quite wealthy and had bought them a large house with 5 rooms. When they divorced, the house was put under her mother's name, and he provided child support and living expenses, so they were able to raise my girlfriend without much difficulty. As I heard about the hardships that my future mother-in-law had gone through, I respected her even more and raised my glass to her. That night, sparks flew between us, and we ended up in a motel near the entrance of the mountain. After her divorce, she hadn't been in a man's arms, and she held onto my arm, saying how satisfied she was. I also felt a different sensation from being with her compared to my girlfriend. We ended up repeating the act 2 more times. From that day on, she became my woman. Even when I was with my girlfriend, I found myself thinking about her mother. I invited her to join us on dates because I missed her. We went to the suburbs in my car, enjoyed delicious food, drank tea, and even went to see performances. Both my girlfriend and her mother enjoyed it. We continued this comfortable relationship until my girlfriend graduated from college and started working. My girlfriend landed a job at a newly opened company and was incredibly busy. She worked overtime almost every day and usually came home around midnight. Whenever my girlfriend worked late, her mother would inevitably call me. Even though I knew my girlfriend was working late, I still received calls from her mother. After the incident with her, I was conflicted about how to treat her. Using dinner as an excuse, she invited me over to her place. Since I hardly ever went home to eat after work, I would head over to her place. She had certifications in Korean and Western cooking. She prepared different main dishes and side dishes each time, and they were all delicious. I loved my girlfriend, but honestly, I also really liked my future mother-in-law. After dinner, the next course of action was obvious. A future mother-in-law who welcomed her daughter's overtime work so she could share love with her son-in-law. I spent 2 to 3 nights a week with her and spent about 1 day on the weekend on a date with my girlfriend. After being with her mother, I felt terrible guilt for betraying my girlfriend. However, seeing how happy her mother was with me also made me feel sympathetic. I wondered how much she must have struggled, raising her daughter alone while maintaining her cheerful and energetic facade. My girlfriend suggested we take a trip after her busy period at work was over. Her mother had never been to Canada before, so we decided to go to Canada together. The weather was great and we all had a fantastic time. On our last night at the hotel, we had a few drinks and her mother started to cry. She shared that she had faced many temptations from men while raising her daughter alone. She had been told countless times that a woman couldn't live alone, and that even if she had money, she needed a man's role in her life. She was advised to remarry quickly. However, she had been so disappointed in her husband that she had decided to live the rest of her life alone. Now that she had a son-in-law, she was content as long as we were happy. My girlfriend comforted her mother, saying that she had gone through a lot. I also held the 2 women I loved and cried with them. Through the trip, we became closer, and whenever her mother called, I would drop everything to meet her. Her mother would call me on days when my girlfriend had plans. She would shyly hand me side dishes and ribs, saying she had made too much. Her actions were so cute and lovable. After spending time with her mother, I would return home. When I visited my girlfriend's house, we would take a nap and sometimes be intimate. However, it was always for a very short time because we were careful. One day, her mother seemed to be acting a bit cold, as if she had noticed something. I called her that night and we spent time together. I think we will live together in my girlfriend's house once we have our wedding. On days when my girlfriend is not around, I will be able to spend time with her mother. I feel like I am walking on thin ice, knowing that we could get caught someday, but I can't give up either of them. Both women are precious to me. A man who is in love with both his girlfriend and her mother. What should I do? Who can stop the love between two adults? I can't just leave her mother alone. It's true that my desires have led me to this unconventional situation, but if you knew our future mother-in-law, you would understand why I am doing this. She is special to me.